Today we're talking about complex numbers, specifically adding, subtracting, and multiplying. These notes are very brief. Here it is on your left. The main thing we've got to consider is that I is not a variable. I represents the imaginary number, which comes from the square root of -1. So if I comes from the square root of -1, when we square that number, we get back to the -1. So really, the whole idea with dealing with complex numbers, i's behave exactly like variables, even though they're not variables. They act exactly like variables until they receive a power. Once our i's have a power, then we have to deal with them in different ways. Tomorrow we'll touch on when i's have a power higher than 2, but today the main thing we need to know is that when an I is squared, the result is -1. So we're going to talk about adding and subtracting. Well, in the examples we're going to use, we actually are not going to add at all. Again, that's not that they don't exist, but if we can subtract these values, then we can definitely add them. Main thing we need to know that this is called the complex form, a plus bi. So if you hear me talk about the complex form and I refer to an a value and a b value, this is what I'm talking about. The constant value, the value that does not have the I, is supposed to go in front. If it does not, we can still manipulate these values, but this is where it's supposed to be. So you notice the parentheses on this thing, and parentheses always mean distribution. In this case, we have a negative sign, so this distribution goes to each of these terms. Once we do this, I'm actually going to drop the first parentheses because it had a positive 1 in front of it, so it is unaffected. Our 5 turns to a -5, and our -3i turns to a positive 3i. Once we've done this, we are going to identify our like terms. We're going to deal with the a values first, the constant values. We have a -9 and a -5, which gives us a -14. And our I values are 3i and positive 8i, which combine to give us 11i. So our i's did not receive any powers, so there is no trick to this. This I did behave as if it were just a variable, but we do need to recognize that this I is not a variable. It is the square root of -1. But this is our solution, or our simplified form. It's not a solution, it's a simplified form. Just like yesterday, I'm going to jump to the second type of expression that we're going to see, which is multiplication. I will go back to adding and subtracting, but for those of you that want to work a little quicker, I'm going to show you the two things that we're going to see, and then we will jump back to the examples for those of you that need to see more. So this is a multiplication of two binomials. Remember, the i's act like variables until they receive a power. So this is a binomial times a binomial. So everything in the left parentheses will be multiplied times everything in the right parentheses. So I'm going to first start by distributing the -6 to both terms. -6 times 2 is -12. -6 times -3i is positive 18i. So I've moved the -6 through everything. Now it's time for the -10i. And again, -10i, because this 10 does have a negative sign directly in front of it. So when we distribute the -10i times 2, this gives us a -20i. and then we're going to see our first value where this is going to be different. We have a negative 10 times a negative 3, negative 10i times a negative 3i. Well, negative times a negative is positive. And I times I is I squared. So first, let's combine our like terms. We do have a couple of those, and we'll get back to the I squared in just a second. So we have 18i and negative 20i. These two values combine to give us negative 2i. And the negative 12 in front currently has no like term. So this is negative 12 minus 2i. But we still need to deal with this 30i squared. Now I could go over to the left and tell you, okay, we're going to change the I squared. That's basically saying negative 1, the square root of negative 1 squared, and then this turns into negative 1. Well, what's always going to happen when you have an I squared is you're basically multiplying the number in front times negative 1. And when you multiply times negative 1, we have a sign change. You are more than welcome to go through the steps of showing this. 30 times negative 1 changes it to negative 30. But what I do is anytime I see an I squared, and it only squared do I do this for, anytime I see an I squared attached to a number, it's going to change that number to its opposite. And then I can drop the I squared. That's the purpose of the I squared, is to change the sign of the number that it's touching. So my positive 30 becomes a negative 30. And after doing this, and this usually happens, so anticipate that, after doing this, we have two new like terms. We have negative 12 and negative 30, which makes negative 42, and 2i. This answer does work. You could factor out a negative 2 and write this another way, but this is also a very usable answer. So at this point, you have all the information that you need. The fourth example is going to deal with a second power, but it's a very easy thing to deal with. If you want to and are able to work ahead, I'm going to call your attention for just about 4 seconds a little bit later. But if you've got it, you go right ahead. There's not going to be any kind of curveballs that we throw at you. Those of you who need to see another couple of examples, here we go. Again, I gave you a subtraction sign, and I picked a lot of numbers, examples that had negative signs, because negative signs are usually where we have our trouble. We are going to distribute a negative to each of these terms. When we do this, our negative 7 changes to a positive 7, and our positive 3i changes to a negative 3i. The 12 and the 10, neither one. It's technically a distribution of positive 1, which is a no sign change. So our values look like this. Once we've done that, we just identify our like terms. We have a positive 12 and a positive 7, which together make positive 19. And we have negative 10i and negative 3i, which together make negative 13i. And that's our answer, 19 minus 13i. All right, those of you working ahead, here's the 4 seconds I asked you for. When we have a power, what we're going to do is simply write it twice. Do not distribute a power of 2 into each of those. You have to write it twice. If you do not, you will get the wrong answer, guaranteed. Write it twice. So those of you, again, working ahead, you go right back to it. That is the only, it's not really even a trick. That's what you do. Squared means a number times itself. So here we go. I'm going to multiply negative 5 times negative 5, which is going to give me positive 25. Then the negative 5 goes to the positive 10i, which gives me negative 50i. So I've distributed the negative 5 to everything. It's the 10i's turn. 10i times negative 5 is negative 50i. And then lastly, positive 10 times positive 10 is 100i squared. So I'm going to do two things at once on this. I'm going to first combine my like terms. This is negative 100i. And when I see the I squared touch a number, it's going to change it to its opposite. So this 100 is now a negative 100. And by doing that, we've created a second set of like terms. So this would be 25 minus 100 is 75. And then the 100i is there by itself. Again, I cannot emphasize it enough. We are not going to try to distribute this power into this. You must write it twice. The trick to today's lesson really is all about the I squared. I squared is negative 1. Tomorrow we'll start talking about what happens when we start adding more powers to our i's. I3, I4. We'll talk about that. It follows a pattern, not too terribly difficult, but then we will also look at possibly division. That does get a little tougher, so make sure you're ready to learn tomorrow. Got a Delta Math assignment. Good luck.